Right. Hey, it's coffee morning artwork. So I'm Phil. This is my stream, Phil Kearney. Hey, I just want to check my signal here real quick, and we'll get started. We're gonna do a few hours of artwork here for the flying shark piece that we've been working on. I have the day off giving today here, 2022. So I have the glory of having the day off. So I'm going to plug in a few hours here into Spelljammer artwork that you can see here on screen. That's the cover of the new book that we're producing, Spelljammer Combat Exploration. So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put in a few hours of artwork today. And then we're going to take a long lunch break, and then we'll come back in a few hours and put in maybe 4 or 5 hours worth of Eberron adventure cartography to keep moving the ball down the field with the Crystals of Mabar project that we had been we've been airing here online as well, normally in the evenings. So I've boosted all my signals. I've made sure I sound clean. We can now go into here. Hey, like and subscribe, all those things. It looks like about 50% of the people that watch my stuff have been here before. So that's amazing, honestly. I really appreciate just the general support. Like, subscribe. There's a bunch of my books down in the description down below that are at like a 35% discount right now. They're in a bundle. You can look at all of them cover to cover, read all of them, run an entire 20 level campaign with all of the content. If that's how long it takes for you to recognize that the stuff is fun and it does nothing but improve life in your game, then so be it. Take your time. I'd love to have your support when I have it. There's also a Patreon link down below that leads you to some of the initial playtest content that we had for Spelljammer, but it is far from current. We've been evolving, and once we get it back from edits, we'll come back to the stream and start doing the book layout. So you'll see all the content of the actual final document, post-treatment, dropping into page layouts. We'll build out all the pages, and once we have the pages done, we'll yank those all as individual PDF pages. We'll drop them back here into Photoshop and start working on the pictures that we'll put into the pages. Like, this will end up being dropped probably into the lower right hand corner or upper left hand, or wherever it's gonna fit. We'll drop this in for scatter artwork in the unnatural creatures section of the book, like around page, say that's like around page 54 or so. So it's a meaty document. We're looking at 45,000 words right now on it, and we are currently trimming it back. It'll probably end up being around 40K worth of book, and maybe 8 or 9K of that is converting Light as Araxis, the Spelljammer adventure that comes with Spelljammer's Adventures in Space. We're going to we're going to work on that. That'll all be part of the book. You'll see all that process. So stick around. Certainly, if you got any questions, ask. But we're just going to keep hammering away at creature artwork today. So scavers are space sharks. There you go. They move fast. They eat you. These soldiers have made the mounts, so that's what we're illustrating. The book that we have. Materials. Oh yeah, it's past this. It's down here though. Hold on, I think it's past hazards. That's spellcasting. And then creatures, there we go. Creatures in wild space, movement, unnatural creatures, far travel, cosmic horrors, aesthetics. What are we saying about creatures in general? Unnatural natures, generally creatures with flying swim speeds, and the unnatural nature feature can exist in wild space. and gain the following features, following additional features. That's the right word. Additional features. Distant senses. The unnatural creatures can sense other creatures, small size or larger, up to 100,000 miles away. The unnatural creature can sense objects 1 mile or larger within 10 million miles. The unnatural creature can sense objects 100 miles or larger within 1 billion miles away, inside the same system. Following additional features. No, we don't need to do that. You can still do that in Astral. Movement. Creatures with fly or swim speeds can move or stop as their statistics indicate at the 5-foot scale, and gain hover while in wild space. Creatures that travel in wild space can willingly enter the space of larger, fast-moving objects to ride the gravity planes when encountered. Remaining in a gravity plane this way is considered a light activity for creatures with a flying speed, swimming speed, or features such as gliding. Remaining in a gravity wake can be sustained while taking a short rest. And then far travel. Wild space creatures can travel the astral sea and between worlds at various distances per day, as detailed in the following descriptions. So, let's kick on down to them scavers. In combat, scavers move, that should be up to 5 squares with each move. Action. And can take a bonus action each round to dash or disengage. They can travel up to 1 million miles per day between worlds, and they don't require air to survive. So that's going to give them a fast enough speed. It's 100 times slower than a Spelljammer ship, but at 100 with the ability to detect things at a fair distance, at least 100,000 miles away. If they can pick up on your passage, they have enough time. If they sense, A, they'll be able to sense that there's a creature on board. B, you're a large enough ship, they'll notice the ship further away, and then they'll notice the people on the ship as it draws closer, and they can move fast enough that they can intercept your ship, get into your gravity wake, and then ride the gravity wake until they take shots at the people that are on your crew. Jump over the deck, swirl around your ship, grab a character, and then fall off the gravity plane and disappear into wild space. If you don't see them eating one of your crew, you could find that your ballista crew is firing a little bit slower right now, because where's Timmy? What happened to Timmy? Well, now you gotta go try to fetch Timmy from a shark. Otherwise, your ballista is going to be firing slower when you get attacked again. So that's a legit threat. Because of the natural nature of a scaver's distant senses, it can notice creatures aboard a spelljamming ship without noticing the ship itself. To a scaver, crew look like schools of medium-sized creatures. Scavers will always chase a spelljammer ship within range unless it is currently eating a creature larger than itself. So there you go. Scavers are big threats. They like to jump on board the wake of ships, chase you down, eat your crew, and then ghost out, potentially without you even noticing it happening. So just because you can see everywhere on a ship if you're the pilot of a spelljammer or actively engaged with an orrery, doesn't mean you pass your spot check. So you could lose crew members to these space sharks just coming by and snatching them off your deck and then just spiraling out of your gravity field and disappearing. Hey, Lindsay. Nice to see you, man. Happy post-holiday. Cheers. But now we know these things are fast. 100 million miles a day ain't bad for a creature that's spanning worlds, but it's, nothing compared to a spelljammer ship. So there's really good reason for you to continue to want to use a spelljammer ship, even though you can mount and ride these unnatural creatures. They're considerably slower than what your spelljammer ship is, and the fighter crafts and stuff that we have are even slower than a lot of these unnatural creatures. Fighter crafts, the smaller fighter crafts that we built, that are anywhere from like 10 feet to 50 feet in scale, like the Infernal war machines but with wings. They use minor helms, which can only get up to 10,000 miles per day, which still allows you to move up to a mile per round, or with 5 squares of movement, with an object interaction and then a standard action, 5 squares each. That gives you a typical pilot is going to have 10 squares of movement. When you divide that mile of movement into 10 spaces, it's 500 feet per space, which is the scale of a single square that a Spelljammer ship moves through. So there's a lot of consistency there. But the fighter crafts, they're like jump ships. They're like, I'm in orbit, I need to drop down to the planet without necessarily pulling my whole ship down there. So you can just toss a jump ship, and it can do 10,000 miles per day, which means that it can go around the entire planet of Toril in the course of a day. So that's not bad speed, but it's certainly not spanning worlds. It's good from like getting from your planet, like in 20, you can get from your planet to the saloon, the moon on Toril. It's like 120,000 miles away, so a small craft can get there in 12 days. That's like a nice small scale way that Mercane or whatever can introduce a planet to spelljamming by giving them this small craft tech to be able to fly from their moon to their planet so they can start populating their own inner space inside the wild space system. But if all they do is start using it and attacking each other, then Mercane can make a mental note that, yeah, if we give these guys tech, they're going to build a navy and attack stuff with it. So let's keep that in mind. But if Mercane like that, then they can upsell them to the greater helms that allow them to have things that are larger than 50 feet move 100 million miles per day and become a graduated citizen of the astral sea. So that's the thought process behind that. The absolute minimum speed you can have in a craft to be able to sustain 500 foot square movement on a map when you're doing combat is 10,000 miles per day. So that is that's the minimum that we need to be. That's the minimum they need to be able to do. So small craft are more like things that you jump from ship to ship, or small distances like between a planet and a moon. But you could also take one of these small crafts and then take off the minor helm and then drop a major helm into it, and then it can ramp up and kick at the 100 million miles per day. You only have to have a 10-foot ship, so like you can have a space hog, like a devil's ride with wings on it, and you can just, instead of the pilot seat, you can just put a major helm on it. You can still do 100 million miles. It's just small craft don't need it. The little fighter ships they're cheap as hell. It's only $500 for a minor helm, or 500 gold for a minor helm, as opposed to a major helm, which is 5,000 gold. So if you're trying to populate, if you're trying to stock up on fighter ships so you can defend your territory on a carrier, then a minor helm is all you really need, because you're just going to be carrying them at the 500-foot scale, 100 million miles per day. Once you engage an enemy, you're going to be engaging at the 500-foot square anyway because of the range of the weapons that you're using, which means that they're within range of these fighter ships. So you can build them cheap. They have the speed that you need to be able to engage in battle. If an enemy ship yeets out at a high speed, then the pursuit ship just scoops up in the wake. The fighter craft, as they kick out of there, just the way the gravity planes work, like with Scavers, you can scoop them from the gravity plane and then you take off. So anyway, I'm rambling about stuff. I got hours today. I got a couple hours. Actually, I'm going to set a timer. I've got 3 hours this morning, a little less than that now, to work on this, and then I'm going to take a long lunch break, and then when I come back, I will do some Eberron cartography later on today. So, but for now, we are just going to switch our brush and continue illustrating here. See if I can't make some, get this done, or if not done, at least make some massive progress on it. The detail work can grind me down, depending on if I get caught up in something that's like, I'm not sure how to do this. That's a major sticking point. But then there's just the amount, how much detail do I want to invest into the piece, considering it's just an interior art piece of spot art. I've already put, like 10 hours into it. So, I love the stream. I love talking about stuff, but if I'm going to end up having a stack of 60 illustrations that I need to do, like if you check out the core mechanics book I have linked down below at DMsGuild, you can flip through that cover to cover. There's about 60 illustrations in that book. It's a 75-page book. It's got like 60 illustrations in it. It's insane. So we already have a number of diagrams and charts and and example diagrams that we need to build. Did I say diagrams twice? Anyway, we got a shitload of assets we have to build for this piece just to make it work. I'm not sure how much time I should actually be spending grinding myself down on individual interior art pieces, even though I freaking love this piece. So it's hard for me. It's hard. It's like as soon as I fall in love with a piece, it's really hard for me just to like not dive into it. That's a time management thing that I am apparently needing to work on. But we'll see how shit shakes out. And then a moment of silence. Excuse me. I got the Hagenagas from last night, I tell you. Party with friends, good times, good foods, good smoke, good drink. There we go. Let's grab that color. Get rid of that. Let's see. Okay, for the backscaver. Backscaver. Let's go to back. With a heart attack. I think we'll work on the foreground scaver's flesh next, and then we'll do the armor last. That should get us the most distance most quickly to get the most coverage. I don't think I actually need to do that much more for the scaver. I've allotted 3 hours for this task, which, if God willing, I'll be able to use that time well to resolve this thing. It doesn't feel like it should take more than 3 hours unless I let myself get distracted with like minute details like this. Allow me to further demonstrate how I immediately contradict my own intentions and process. I guess the process of art is self-sabotage. Is mixing self-sabotage with integrity of doing what I say I'm going to do. Perhaps true art is how well you mix those two ideas together. This is what I say I'm going to do, and here's how I break it. Could that not be art? As I mint on a detail that surely no one gives a shit about. There we go. Do. I have no topic of conversation in my mind. I am blank. So I think I am in a place where I can try to shut down my brain a little bit and let the autonomics take over. Let the muse grab the pilot seat. And run the show for a little bit. Ooh, I need fresh coffee. Hold on real quick. We'll get right back into this. That's fresh. Fresh and fantastic. like so it's like on the other side of the crystal. So I'm thinning that down a little bit to make that opaque distortion. That's what I'm going for there. I mean, this is minuscule in scale, so this is hardly a huge factor. But I want to go right. There, like that. Good. Yeah, hair. Am I good with this? Oops. Put that back. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Okay, cool. So let's go back to our foreground. Sky. Let's work on Scabber Flesh. That's kind of cool. That's kind of really cool. All right, cool. I just don't know that. Let's go to this guy in the back here. Lance, L-A-N-C-E, boop, Scabber. Scabber Flesh equals reference. Let's go with this one. Oops, I need my window. My tools window. Bring your fucking tools? Yes, I did. What color doing here? What color doing here? Okay, some good diversity there. Kind of a brush I want to use for this guy. I feel like I want to use a textured brush. My news says is I need to use something different. So let's see what it is exactly here that she has in mind. Oh, she just wants a pixel brush. Or she just wants my chisel. Okay, we'll use the chisel. Let's see how that goes. I'm not sure what it's going to do. I think right now we're just quote unquote adding texture, which is just like just color, just adding color. That's it. Just getting this gray wash or this monochromatic general tone that we have on here. We're just trying to muck up break up the coloring. You know, just getting the texture is just a mixture of light and dark. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. She's trying to come through. She's trying to say stuff for us. So give her use a little minute here to try to find her seat, I guess. I don't know the rules. Push that up. Like, what was that, 80? Yeah, 80% right now. Keep that highlight on the inside edge of that black outline. That'll help double down. I should zoom in instead of twisting my face around. Like that. Come through here. We can blend these two things together successfully. There we go. Sure, like that. Push the dark down here so I have something to push with. Pick up this tail color here, fill that in a bit, bleed into it. There we go, like that. A little bit of a mess out of it. I mean, that mid-tone pushing between these two different types of dark is making an interesting seam along the side of the shark. We can see that seam here, here, and here. Thank you, timer. So we're trying to get that same sort of language going across here on this midline. Through, and then we can come back through with a highlight eventually and make that pop a little bit. Do that. Nice. Brush cutting as well. See, I just thin this one down so it has less of a profile, so that when I cut with it, it's more of a as I have more control over what I'm cutting out of it. Hey, what's up? Are scavengers both wild and domesticated? It doesn't technically say anything about it in SAS. So rangers and druids can tame almost anything. So I guess I'll Jerry Crawford it and say I'd allow it at my table. But yeah, there's no rules about them. They're just sharks. So, you know, if you can tame a shark, cheers. I just like the imagery more than anything else. Like, if you create an image of, you know, knights riding a shark, then suddenly people are going to be like, can I have a knight ride a shark? And like, yeah, that sounds cool. But I don't have a reason to particularly detail it. I guess I could put in a blurb about how easy is it to tame wild creatures, but it wouldn't be any different from what's in the DMG, I'd reckon. Asking for a friend. I personally think it would be dope as hell. See, the great thing about making sure that this, like, Spelljammer ships are the fastest thing out. I mean, there's some creatures, high CR creatures like cosmic horrors and like solar dragons and lunar dragons that can match speed of a Spelljammer ship. So they can, you know, you can get chased down and eaten by dragons even if you try to yeet out of its star. It'll get you. But, oh my god, get the hell out of my life. Thank you. The word I was just now looking, I'm going to merge this. I feel sassy. Edge a little bit. We got another 20-30 some odd minutes I can work on this scabbard flesh here. But what was I trying to say? Oh, that's it. Because Spelljammer ships are still like the fastest, like compared to unnatural creatures, like as opposed to high CR monster threats, just animals and creatures like a scabber or like a Kindori or whatever. They generally move slower than Spelljammer ships. So even if a character decides to tame these things so they can, you know, fly independently through space, at best what it's going to do for them is allow them to mobilize independently in combat, like as though they are their own fighter craft, you know, flying at, you know, occupying a 50-foot square of their own, regardless of how large the creature is that they're using. They'd be able to easily navigate inside of a 50-foot space, like at the dogfighting scale, for instance. Or you know, obviously, if you're smaller than 500 feet, you're going to sit inside of a single 500-foot square. If you're scaling out your combat to be moving across the 500-foot scale. The mounted ranger or the scabber rider, as it were, would be able to, you know, navigate that space as though they were basically a tiny sized creature at that scale, but they'd still be represented as a square on the battlefield. So it'd be easy enough for them to be able to jump off of a ship, mounted on a scabber, and then attack independently alongside the siege crew any threats that you're engaging in wild space combat. So that's easy peasy to do. It's just the same rules as craft because of the speed that these things can move. It's kind of built into the mechanics of small craft combat and swarming larger ships. So the character can just jump aboard, and then what would most easily be done is kick across from one ship to another at a really high speed, so that you can start attacking ship crew that are open on deck, like siege weapon, like. A really good strategy to shut down an enemy ship is to attack their siege crews so that their weapon, their reload speed slows and slows and slows because they don't have as much manpower loading, aiming, and firing weapons. So you can effectively cripple a ship's ability to fight you by attacking the crew that's exposed on deck, which is a significant strategy in ship-to-ship combat like this. Like, get rid of the crew. The Spelljammer ships themselves have shitloads of hit points, so it's hard to disable them. You can pick off the crew, but doing that requires you again to cross over onto the other ship and do boarding attacks. But boarding is such a like boarding in hand-to-hand combat like 5e is the default that they went with. But it's much slower. You can just stay at the 50-foot scale, have small enough craft that can, like, you can't use a catapult. You can't attack a guy with a catapult. He's on a ship. He's got a large structure that he's working on. He's got cover, so you can't attack him directly. That's why you need smaller craft or boarding crews to distract the weapon team from shooting you with their siege weapons. So Wizards was not wrong in emphasizing boarding crew combat. It just feels so hollow considering what the ships are. It's like but logistically, like from a combat tactic perspective, they're right that you should be boarding the ship and killing the crew, so that you can get the ship, get the weapons without having your ship completely destroyed in the process. It's just a matter of closing this. The problem that Wizards has with Spelljammer as written is that closing that distance to do it is presented in an illogical solution. So it doesn't seem like they've really play tested the actual mechanics, like the actual round by round effect of closing distance with another ship and then boarding them and then having the battle and stuff. It is with this slow down 30-foot scale stuff that they have in 5e, it just becomes really difficult to just accept it as it is. Like, the suspension of disbelief is difficult, which is why we're building this book, so that you can logic your brain around. Well, yeah, we want to move fast in these ships. We can engage with each other, do dogfighting, do cool space maneuvering, and barrel rolls and all that kind of crap. All those stuff that you want to be able to do with spaceships. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Wizards is right. You need to board and shut down that crew. So we have mechanics on making it easier for you to, by creature or craft, strafe a deck and shoot down crew so that they don't take shots at your mothership. But whatever. It's the amount of dots we have to connect when we pick these things up is obnoxious. Hopefully this book's going to end up resonating with people and they're going to enjoy using it. comments. Already sold it. If nothing else, just for the illustration. Oh, thank you. It'll be 100% preview, so I mean, I'll take your word for it, but you can read the whole thing cover to cover, and you know, I appreciate that though. Absolutely, please do buy it. I make everything 100% preview because I just hate the idea of somebody buying a book and not knowing what the hell it is that they're buying. Like this feels disingenuous to me to have like these fearful, limited previews. Like, oh, they'll never buy my book if they don't like it. It's like I firmly believe that like if they actually spend time to read your book, like if they download your book and don't ever read it, you didn't really sell them anything. You kind of wasted their money. So I'd rather you just grab the free preview, and if you actually spend time reading through it, that's when I see like it is not like the bundle I have down below. There are a number of products in that bundle that are pay what you want. Like you don't have to pay anything to have access to. Well, you don't have to have anything. You don't have to spend anything to have access like to all the free preview gives you everything. Except for the assets in the zip file, like to make the game, to make using the supplements easier in general. But there's a lot of books that are also pay what you want. So it's not unusual that I'll get an alert that someone's like download, like for instance, Spellpoint Warlocks. Someone will pick up Spellpoint Warlocks. It's pay what you want. They take it for free. So I'll see a sales report that says someone picked this up. They didn't spend any money on it. But then like the next day I'll see a sale of like everything in that bundle is sold except for Spellpoint Warlocks is excluded from the purchase because they already bought it. So it's like maybe 1 out of 3 people that come and grab something of mine for free end up coming around and buying all of it. It's actually really flattering. But it really has driven home to me that people actually will pay for stuff if they value it, and if they're not reading it, they're not valuing it, then I don't. They shouldn't have to pay for it. So there's enough people that are coming back and buying my stuff willingly. That tells me if you just trust them, if you show them what you're doing, if they're spending money on PDFs anyway, generally it's because they want to support cool ideas and have access to new things. And just throwing a couple of bucks my way after actually reading it, that's a big compliment, and it just reflects that people are actually using the content. Plus, if you give them 100% free preview, there's absolutely no reason for them not to give you a 4 or 5 star rank. They could read the whole thing for free. If they don't like it, they shouldn't be buying it. If they only think it's okay, they shouldn't be buying it. So that's why most of my reviews and ratings are like 4.7 and higher. It's because you're dumb if you didn't look at the thing. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to insult people that don't try to take advantage of the system. That sounds self-defeating. But at the same time, it's like there's zero reason to give a bad review, unless you bought it out of spite, specifically because you wanted to crap on me. Like that's insane. But I suppose it could happen. Anyway, super ramble mode here. But I'm liking this texture. I think this is pretty cool. Look at that crap. Holy shit. Merge down. Actually, let's grab this. Time for the eye. What is that? Oh, that's cloud smudgage. Let's see, that looks like an artifact, but it's actually something that is impacting from the see. Odd artifact. I'll have to fix that eventually. Actually, I should probably fix it now because I might not ever see it again. Where are you at, little smudge? All right, back on track. I need to make this less clean, but we're working our way around to it, so we'll take care of it. We'll go with I. Put the I. Nice, timely timer. Where are we at? We're at 7 o'clock. Oh my god, I've got 2 whole hours. Give me that. I'm gonna get there, man. We are going to get there. Let's see. Too gritty. Grid-like is proper fashion. There, 80s. Yeah, artwork's a big selling point. Just being able to have unique assets provided in a piece really helps make one production stand out from another a lot. Most small publishers don't have the ability to purchase a crap ton of custom artwork. That's kind of like, I guess, quote unquote, one of the features of me doing this stuff in the first place at all is that I like artwork is promotion time. Like, this is all promotional stuff, like just getting to talk about the book and the shit that's going to be in it. The time I require to produce the book is time I have to be able to connect with people like this, being able to do these streams. It allows me to ramble on about how cool the book is and actually like point stuff out in conversation and put things in context. And like director. It's like director cut notes. You know, you're talking about the shit in the production process. It's fun. And it's time I have to spend doing this anyway, so it's kind of just like a win-win overall. Like it has secondary gain is the term, that when something that's detrimental has a benefit to you, like why would you endure doing this thing? Why do you sustain yourself in an abusive relationship? Because I have a deep fear of being alone. And while I'm abused, at least I have the opportunity of not being isolated. It's like, or ironically, you accept being isolated as long as it's with this person. Like that's, you know, it's called secondary gains. Like it's obvious, like this thing is detrimental. Why do you choose to do it? Like, well, because of the gain. It's not quite the same because I love doing artwork. And it has to get done. It's the time lag that goes along with the artwork that hurts so much. Like it takes forever. I'm working on armor and I'm not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be working on scattered flesh. So let's get back on point. Back on point. Thank you, sir. These little dots look like stars. It's camouflage. Love it. Just love that. So fun. Ha. It's a shame. It's a really good case study in how damaging public trade is to a business in general. Like the only reason WOTC is pumping out cards like this is because they have a new, you know, it during the pandemic everything was peachy. They were on the rise. Good profit line, and now that is backsliding, they can't accept that there's a loss, that, you know, there's trends and things go up and down. It's like, no, we have to push to have the profit without really thinking about, like all the articles say, they're killing their golden goose because they're not being good stewards that can exhibit patience in the marketplace to have long-term gains. Capitalism is really dangerous. Like the nature of capitalism is just, it's destructive. But people endure it because they think that they have an opportunity to win the jackpot, you know? That's how the system thrives on you thinking you can score big in capitalism without having to deliver that promise to you. Because it's your fault if you screw up. It's your fault if you fail. It's kind of industrial gaslighting. Holy crap, that rips. That's so cool. This piece is great. I'm really proud. Really, really proud of this piece. Comments. Honestly, agree. On the D&D VTT just before the pandemic, but been in MTG since 1995. Cheers, man. Anything that allowed us to connect in 2021 had extra value, definitely. Yeah. Huge boon, right place, right time for the industry. You know what? I think I can just paint over this. Not necessarily sure what's going on here. I feel like I just want to paint over all this. Screw it. I'm gonna duplicate here, conceal, and have at it. I'm going to paint over all this and then re-armor it once we start locking down how the saddle actually sits. We got the strap here for the saddle, so we're going to preserve that. But the rest of this, I'm just going to paint over. That's why I made this duplicate down here, as well as this, so I can still pull the armor pieces off of this if I need to. But my gut's telling me just to overpaint this, just to be bold about it. That the amount of time it's going to take for me to quote unquote correct the anatomy of the armor that I have here. It's just the amount of time it would take me for me to fix it once I'm done with this particular process. I may as well just redo the armor altogether so I can safely paint over it. It got me that far, but we're looking to go further. So. Edge down a little bit. A little bit. It's pretty thin here, but it was thick over here, so I have to thin this down so the anatomy matches. Like that. Got it. $707 here in Seattle. If I can get the rest of the scabbard artwork, like the scabbard flesh, done in the next 30 minutes, God, I have an hour allocated to it. But there's so little land, there's so little area left that I think I can have this done in the next 20 minutes. That'll give us 90 minutes just to work on this spot right here. It's just this is such a well managed piece. I'm gonna go ahead and break my arm, pat myself on the back right there, because so far no jinxies, etc. Managing the space on this illustration has been alarmingly easy so far. So we'll see what goes off the rails for us, but. Yeah, I don't want to actually have that there. I actually want this limited like that. Carve that out a little bit. That'll distinguish that space. There we go. Some over here. Do the same thing over here. Very good, very good, very good. Very, 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 very good. Cool. Just gonna merge that down. Be bold. Next, let's grab this. Push this in like that. Oh, this is turning out that way. Okay. Let's keep moving it. I'm okay with painting over stuff now that I have a purpose to do it. Whoa, hey there, turkey. Hit save. I just called my painting turkey. My dad does that. He calls things turkey when he doesn't know what the hell's going on. It's so funny. I love you, Dad. There we go. That looks pretty good. As it says, convince your group it's a new book, as it's clearly a cover illustration. Scabbers, Hidden Lives of the Space Sharks. Released during Shark Week. Instant gold level seller. Oh my god, that's actually pretty compelling. Do not do that to me. I will be happy to come back through and do a Scabber Shark Week book. That actually sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. That's the kind of mischief we can get into once this thing is out. So that's a great idea, man. That's so funny. That's not bright enough. Give me that. That's the stuff. What the? That is not the stuff. Give me the stuff. Thank you. Bit, get cleared in, and we can come back through here. Oops, got to do my down here. I hear you, buddy. I'm with you. Where are we at? 7:15. Don't stop till the police get off the block. We're talking hip hop. It's bigger than. Now, we can be bold, like an American. There's a really great Lana Del Rey song called "Like an American." She's man, she's got cool music. Big fan of Lana Del Rey. I got to transition from this straight edge, like this angle here, along the curve of the body. I have to transition that into this fin that we're working on. So I have to, even though a lot of it's going to end up getting smudged in together, I want to take the time to make sure that I'm even like with Bob Ross, man, he'll do a mountain and like he'll cover almost the entire thing with forest, you know. But like it's in there. It's got to be in there. So you want to have these. You want to take the time to add in the anatomy that you need, even though you anticipate covering it completely over. The language is inside of the piece, and you have the how to put it. You've witnessed that anatomy, even though the final piece won't expose it. You won't see it as the final piece. You, as an artist, you took the time to curve out all this anatomy. You know how it actually sits on the creature. So when you cover it over, you have a better understanding of the topography. So the decisions that you make are going to be more confident. They're going to be ground into, like, I know this is how this creature exists. So doing this curve right here, right now, makes a lot of sense because of what I actually know about the structure of this fin, for instance. Oh, give me a break. Come on. This is supposed to be like that. Let's merge that down. Merge down. Get this out of the way. I'm all for happy accidents. Do not get me wrong. I just want to make sure that accidents not controlling. Trim that down a little bit like that. There we go. Pretty happy about that. Grab my favorite scraper here and keep scraping. Looks good. Pretty happy about that. That crap is turning out. That's fantastic. I can feel myself being bogged down into details. I need to evade. Stick that down a bit like that. See, this is a great spot to put armor because of the way that this thing is cantankerous. There. Organic material like this is a lot easier for me to produce than like highly structured items like ships. Kind of kicking myself in the face for being this detailed with stuff that's easy. Like that book cover I made, like the Nautiloid Star Moth working and tangled up in a grapple. That book was murder to make. Oh my god. I pray that I do not overcommit myself to that amount of detail on all of these pieces, because that is just feels freaking I'm gonna just merge all this down, behold. Bam. It just feels suicidal to be this detailed with everything. I was attempting to find a way to, well, let's be honest. What I wanted to do with this book is find a way that I can be happy with a style of art that's faster to produce, that I'm still happy with, and I can safely say that I'm super happy with this piece. So we hit that point, but faster, yeah, I actually feel like this was produced faster than a lot of the previous pieces that I've done. So I think technically I'm fulfilling my objective of being able to produce good art at a decent speed. Every time I do another book project, I'm able to produce higher end results at a faster pace, and it's kind of exciting. So I'm pretty excited about, more projects in the future. Every time I do one of these, it's just the production level becomes better, and the production rate becomes faster. That's that's really exciting. Do that. Boom. There we go. What's the Emperor tie? Let's see where we're at. So far, so good. Definitely feels good to see a return on investment for past work. Yes. I think it's his college experience. Punto. Absolutely. You're a hoot, man. I appreciate you hanging out. I feel like this is what I want to do. Do like this. And we're going to erase, a really low intensity erase, so it fades the stuff in a little bit like that. That feels right. Not okay. That's starting to feel pretty good. I'm starting to feel pretty damn good about that. So let's just be willing to paint over this like that. Being bold. Let's build this guy out without any armor on his face. So that when we put the armor back on his face, we'll have more information about how that's supposed to work. So. Future failed projects. Well, I'm happy to have a study hall here with you. That sounds fantastic, my brother. That seems like the right size, so we need to build accordingly. Eyes glow, or is it more of a night shine? I think it's going to have some rim lighting here. It is going to have a shining effect. It will impact this area here. When I put armor on this front tip, on this front edge, when I put the armor across it, the lighting on the eye will be able to create a neat lighting effect, or like a reflection shine sort of thing to make this pocket stand out a little bit more. That's the impression I get from the artwork we have up here. That like some of it has a shine, like this one seems like it illuminates. This one seems like it illuminates. This one seems like it illuminates. This one not so much. Uh-oh. Alright, now I'm starting to get threatened about time. It is 7:30 here. I still have to stay on course. I've got 90 minutes to resolve this. That's what I need to do in the next 90 minutes. At first it felt like that was going to be easy peasy, but now that I'm fucking around with the anatomy inside here, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to hit this on point or not. So that's why we find ourselves in here cutting away at this guy's armor. Not sure how this is gonna. Oops. Yeah, not sure how it's gonna turn out. So wish me luck. Trim that down. Continue painting over. There. I think we can get this 90 minutes. Okay. So I'm liking how this is coming along. Just merge that down. Be bold about it. Let's go 8 something. 78? Yeah. There we go. Drop that in like a cheater. Down. Does that work? Yes, that angle absolutely works. So we are anatomically accurate with this piece, which is something that I suspected but did not have a confirmation of until now. So I'm just going to get all this in there, finish pushing this structure out like that. Good. Good, 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 good. I am now concerned that I'm not going to be done on time. My goals are my own, but I am recognizing that an hour and 10 some odd minutes might be a little ambitious for me being done with this piece. I might have to push a little bit further, which is no end of rage. It's my own fault because I wasn't content with the anatomy, but the end result will be better than the current. That would be that secondary gain. The suffering is I'm forcing the project to take longer than I had originally wanted it to. The secondary gain is that it is going to be a better piece as a result of it, which is kind of an ongoing theme in my art, that it takes me longer than I want to produce any piece that I'm working on, but I'm ultimately much happier with the final result, with tangible benefits, like comparably good results. Anyway, let the suffering begin. I still only have the 3 hours regardless, so I only have about an hour and 15 minutes that I have left to actually stream this at all before I need to go do some day duty stuff. And then I have Eberron cartography on the plate for like around 12:30, 1 o'clock here. And then I'll be on that for like 4 hours, building out the Eberron adventure mapping that we've been working on the other stream. So we'll see how we can do. But maybe the first artist who wished they had more time to finish a piece. Yeah, you keep snarking. That's where the saddle can sit. Cool. All right, now we can. God, I'm tired. I can tell I'm fatigued because the way I'm leaning into the piece, like I was like, I need to control that shit a little bit better. More coffee? Thank you. More coffee. Let's see. There we go. I hear you. 80 minutes. 80 minutes. Actually, technically 60, but shut up. Use there. Liking that. A happy shark. Look at that. He's happy. He's all giddy and smileys. No. Merge that down. What a happy shark. He's just glad to be here. Let's get some teeth in there so he looks a little meaner. Cool. Let's go with this color. That feels good. Can we Yeah, buddy. That's looking pretty good. No complaint. No complaint. And just make it a little bit of a highlight. Yep. That feels right. Okay here. Yeah, that's gonna work. Merge that down there. Not bad. All right, merge that down. Let's put this guy back on. Teeth are looking sharp. Ha! You keep those dad jokes rolling in, buddy. almost don't want to have anything on his face. Switch to a round brush. Hey, Chronic. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Here we are so far, looking pretty damn good. Mold that armor into the proper shape that fit the anatomy of the critter. Yeah, I hear you, buddy. So we got about 45 minutes left to this session. I'm going to take a 3 some odd hour break, and then I'm going to come back to do about 4, maybe 3 or 4 hours worth of cartography on the Eberron map that we've been working on for the Flooded Fortress. I anticipate we're coloring that at this point, so I'm anticipating that being done, and then us moving to the topside entrance section, area 4, or region 4. We're in Act 2, region 3 currently. We want to go to Act 2, region 4, topside entrance. This is kind of like a chimney that leads down into the underground dungeon complex. So that's what we're hoping to get to the line art done with that, and to start coloration on that today as well. And then next week we can come back and actually probably tomorrow, God willing, we'll be able to move far enough ahead that tomorrow we'll be able to start working on the underground bunker, finalizing that. And then we'll go back out to the cemetery and finish the cemetery work as well. That's the progression we're hoping to get through. And once the cemetery is done, then we can start doing the optional encounter, the manifest zone encounters, the little vignette pieces that we have, like little ruined gazebos and storage sheds and small little map assets that you can hit the team with little monsters and stuff while they're puttering around inside the Manifest Zone mists. But we'll talk about that more when we get to it. So, yeah, this is looking pretty cool. Shield back on, that feels pretty good. Shield is looking good. What's Eberron map is pretty slick. Be a shame if people didn't stop by the stream and check it out. Ha! Thank you. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what the page layouts on that adventure are going to look like. I've been really jazzing on this landscape. You know, like when your piece is wider. Like this is that's a horrible piece. That's portrait. This is landscape, and I'm thinking I want to do landscape style for this and that piece. It's like because computers are landscapes. Like computer monitors are landscape and shape. So I'm thinking I want to have landscape orientation on the pages that I use, but it's not normal. It's not the normal way that you do things. So there's a risk that I'm taking unorthodox ideas and placing them on unorthodox page orientation. Might be too much of a, like the aesthetics might get in the way of people being able to appreciate the mechanics that are being introduced, but I don't know. We're gonna have to play it out. Like the Spellpoint Sorcerer layouts that I've been doing. That's on a separate playlist that you can check in on my channel. But that is landscape orientation, and I love it. I think it looks fantastic. It certainly makes putting charts on a page a lot easier. But I don't know. This is a PDF. Are you constrained by print page size, or are you allowed to have varied page sizes? Well, it depends on whether or not I want to be friendly for people that may want to print it, regardless of it being a PDF. I don't really typically pay much mind to the idea that somebody would actually print these PDFs out. That just seems, I wouldn't. So I kind of, well, the books I build are mechanics that I, as a DM, want to play. Like all the shit that I have in all my books is stuff that are active inside of my own personal home campaigns. So, well, if you're not constantly using the own content that you're like as a DM, if you're a creator and you're a DM and you're creating DM facing tools that you are publishing for people to play, you should be habitually using those tools yourself, so that as you continue developing familiarity with the ideas that you build, you're constantly playtesting them, to stress test them, to find weird circumstances that may arrive. It's so difficult for like player facing content. Like if you're a player producer, if you're creating content for players and you're a player yourself, you're really limited on the opportunities that you may have to actually even use any of that content at all. I really feel like it's like you start off as a player, and then you become a DM, and then you become a content creator. Because as a content creator, you're either making stuff that you want to see, you're making something you want to see in your own game. Either player options that you would love for your players to actually use inside your game, or DM options, which are things that you would like to see modifying a game. And you should be using, like, these should all be things that you're using regularly. Like, if you create stuff and you never use it, what are you doing? That's me trash talking people out there that build these huge Kickstarter projects or whatever. Like, they've been a streamer for X years, and now they're getting into Kickstarter to sell stuff. It's like, are you really using those tools inside of your game, or is this just content that you bought into? I don't know. I don't mean to trash talk people too heavy, but seriously, there's, like, some people don't even playtest their stuff. Like, how can you expect me to pay for this if you have no idea what the hell's going on with it? It's like Kingmaker is $100 on Roll20, and the developer's like, yeah, I haven't playtested this very much. Like, come on, man. Getting paid $100 a copy for that, you can afford to throw a team together and test this shit for a few months, you know? Like, I've been working on this book for a year. Like, the mechanics that go into this book started a year ago. I mean, the Spelljammer site itself has only been since October 15th or whatever when it came out. But we had already been developing vehicle mechanics for 4 months before Spelljammer came out. And prior to that, we had the army, the guilds, and the kingdom mechanics that made the vehicle mechanics work in the first place, which then made Spelljammer work. So, like, the whole command system that we've been working on is literally, we've logged in. I want to say I'm personally on the 16th month of this project. So it's like, I don't build things fast and cheap. I've had extensive testing on this, and a lot of development, and it all has to work together. And I just can't imagine how somebody would build like a full RPG system like in a month. It's like, what? How? What? Doesn't make it. How do you even know that stuff works? Like, stuff that I assumed would work in this in this Spelljammer project just don't. Like, if I didn't play test it, I wouldn't realize how fucking broken dodge is for ship-to-ship combat. Like, dodge is a bad idea. The amount of damage these ships can take in the first place, you wanna eat up. Actually, like, they have to choose. I'm either gonna do damage to a ship, or I'm going to help defend our ship. And dodge is too efficient, like way too efficient. Like, using reactions to mitigate damage, like to negate a hit around, like to juke something, that's already in Descent into Avernus, and honestly, it does work well. But just like a carte blanche dodge option for a whole ship and all its crew and all its weapon, it's just, I assumed that would be okay, and it is not. So, like, I see, not to throw shade on people, but like, I keep seeing people releasing content on DMsGuild that it's like 2nd edition Spelljammer mechanics with some 5e mechanics tossed on top of it. It's like, you made this in 2 months. You obviously don't know that dodge doesn't work on Spelljammer ships. Like, you can make the mechanic, it just doesn't work. It's imbalanced inside of the system. But you don't know that stuff unless you actually take the time to test this shit out. You can't just, rewrite the 2nd edition Spelljammer mechanics and claim that you've got a good product for 5e. It's just, I mean, people have, like 7 people have so far on the DMsGuild. It's a little goddamn ridiculous. And I don't mean to hate on people. I'm sorry, but if you had taken the time to play test this stuff as deeply as I have and my team has, then like you'll know that like like having an arc, like an arc of fire, like pointing forward and pointing backward depending on what kind of turret you have on your ship, it's just unnecessary bog. It is absolutely tedious. It was tedious in 2nd edition. It's even more tedious in 5th edition. 5th edition has so much more action economy in general, in comparison to 2E. Like in 2E, Spelljammer mechanics as written made a lot of sense because they actually curved out with the kind of action economy that the characters had. So it kind of meshed. But 5e design is so different from 2nd edition, 1st edition, whatever, that it doesn't translate properly. And it's taking... It's like taking a Tesla and putting a hand crank start on the front of it. It's like these are very old necessities that existed because of how the game was, not how it actually is. So I mean, they sound like hotcakes. Some of these people are like gold sellers already on these mechanics, and like I'm afraid that the time it takes to actually develop things that work like seamlessly with 5e and has the same feeling, the amount of design time that it's taken, that the market's going to be oversaturated with good enough, you know, that by the time this thing actually hits, there'll already be market fatigue. People will read it for free and may not necessarily want to buy it. It's a risk I always run with stuff because my production time is so slow because of all the testing that has to go into the development phase, and then all the artwork I have to build to make it stand out. It's like, is it enough? This will be the first product that I've created that has a broad enough universal interest, Spelljammer, that I can properly test. You know, is my shit good? Because like all the color mana mechanics and Strixhaven stuff and subs like ability check casting, all these subsystems that I've done, they're all very niche. This is the most broad appeal product that I've created ever. So we'll get a better sense of how receptive is the market actually going to be to new content so late to the game. You can't just rush out the gate with quality content. It's unless you have, I mean, like monster loot. I think you can get away with being able to punch out the door as fast as you can see the monsters coming in from Boo's Menagerie, because there's so many monster template, like monster loot books that have already been created. It's easy to see how you could curve whatever new creatures are presented in like Boo's Master Menagerie to have that stuff just kind of fold in. That's an existing mechanic system that you're just adding additional flavor to. So I can see that being turned around inside of a month of a new set, you know, like a new setting coming out. That feels reasonable to me. Like something extensive like the missing ship mechanics, there's a reason why WotC didn't do it. It's because it takes a ridiculous amount of time to do it well. Like if it only really took 2 months to build an effective spaceship combat system for 5e, they would have done it. Anyway, I don't mean to throw shade at other people. Because there's different goals in design. It's a lot of these people's design was literally to translate 2nd edition into 5th edition. Job well done. That is successful. And what we're attempting here is to like redefine the scale of combat. It's a much broader project. It has more creation time, but there also might not be. No one may give a crap. It's people that get in conversations with me here and stuff. They have a lot of time to get indoctrinated into my mentality. Get that cult of personality working for me with my 100 subscribers. I mean, statistically, out of the 112 of you, I'll sell 2 of them. So God bless you for who those be. And I can see how popular streamers could punch out a crap ton of success on a Kickstarter project because they have so many people that just believe in them as a content producer, regardless of whether the content they're producing is garbage or not. It's just they believe in the person, and a lot of them will buy a book from a streamer, and like everything else, all the other PDFs just don't even bother to read it. Just I'm giving you money because I support you. It's like, that's amazingly flattering, but God, please read the thing. Include shark tokens, and I'll buy 2 copies. Well, I will provide shark tokens. The Big Mama Hunt, the shark hunt adventure that we designed here, the asteroid field around Topola's Tower, that requires shark tokens. So. You don't have to buy 2 copies. You can buy a copy of this and some other stuff, though. That's cool. Let's do... Text. Deal and done. Right on, dude. Well, I mean, don't do anything yet because I haven't followed through on my side. It's just, you know, I could die tomorrow and then you just wasted your money. Let's see. Sure, let's do that. Merge that down. Keep that shield loose. Where's my reference? I'm gonna find a horse. A horse, a horse, of course, a horse. I feel like I need a save button here. There we go. Text. Thank you for showing. Oh, jeez. Shut up. Fine, fine. Thank you. Incredibly kind. Thank you so kindly. Very much. Yes, I will absolutely create shark tokens. In fact, when this piece is done, I will focus specifically on making shark tokens. Just to follow through on that for you. I got started on tokens after this anyway. A bunch of ship tokens that we have to produce. Yeah, ship tokens. Yeah, see? Ship tokens. I'm almost out of time, and I am not done. So what that means is I'll have to finish it on Monday. And I suspect that if we have a 2-hour stream Monday morning, which is apparently becoming typical for me, I'll be able to have this piece finished. He claims, yet again, anticipating it being finished and then us being able to just dive in on making those tokens. So. we are winding up. We still got almost 20 minutes, so we should be okay there. What? Smell chocolate chip cookies. I think one of my neighbors is cooking. There. Just like that. There, good. Here. There we go. Happy about that. almost done with our day. Yeah? Alright, a few more minutes. We got close. Didn't quite get done. That's a shame. But again, like I was saying earlier, this is I think we got a much stronger piece here now, as a result of the extra effort and time needed to get to this point than what it was going to be beforehand. So, still got to get the left fin armored, and we need to bolt an armor plate over this leather harness that we built here. But I like that there's a harness now that helps provide language about, you know, how does this thing get controlled. So I can come through here and now build a thing like this that makes sense. Hey there, guy. Where'd you go? Cheers. All right, so I'm going to have to check out here in a minute. I just want to push this thing into the space. Yeah, no, that looks horrible. Something went wrong there. Hold on. Oh boy, yeah, that was wrong. Hold on. Fix that. Let's get We're gonna build this face guard. We're gonna build this face plate, and then we'll be done for the day. For this piece, we're gonna come back in about 4 hours. 9 o'clock now. 4 hours would be 1 o'clock. Yeah, we're gonna be back in about. Yeah, we'll be back 1 o'clock. It'll be 4 o'clock at East time. So 4 hours from now, we'll be back, and we'll put in a good 3 or 4, probably 4. Maybe we can endure 4 hours of cartography. We'll see if I have the endurance to do it. We'll do it. We'll do it till we're done. And my gal's gonna probably work. She has a normal day today, so that probably means I'll end up bailing like around 5 something. So we'll get a good. We have an opportunity to get a good 4 hours worth of cartography done on Eberron when we come back later on in about 4 hours. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So hold on. Get this done real quick, and then we'll bail out of here, and then we'll come back in a number of hours. Like I've just said, like 3 freaking times. Come on, Kearney. Be there. Let's trim this down. So it'll be there. Back in how many hours? 4. Yes. Keep that snark flowing. Just brain deading here. Put some more coffee on. There we go. This is pretty much where we started with this headpiece, but now we know so much more about it. Build this piece here like this. Angle's off. There. If I give him a big fuzzy mustache, he looks like he looks like he's trying to disguise himself. Oh my god, that's so ridiculous. Bounced eye glow looking good. Armor shape very tight on the fin. I don't know what that means. Can you say that different? Is that tight as in like mechanically restricting, or tight as in looks cool as hell? English is inefficient. It's either a critique or a compliment. You can't really tell from context yet. Looks cool. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. It has a, I think it has like a splint mail kind of look to it. That was the type of armor I was thinking about when I did that. It reminds me of how the fin would bend. Nice. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That is, yes. It's I like barding in that manner because it helps. Again, it's just more mechanical language about like what's the shape of this thing. It kind of leans into it. But this here like that. Get this here like that. I think. This song is way too bippity boppity. I am not a fan of it. I'm gonna have to get it off my playlist. Like whoever this performer is sounds like they're really excited about something, but I have absolutely no idea what they're excited about. What are you doing, buddy? Trying to get the shape right before I walk away from it so I can feel at peace. Arr! That feels right. Let's get some lighting in here real quick, just to make sure it sits proper. This might end up being too bulky. Not sure. I mean, it's logical. Not sure if I'm actually a fan of this design or not. There we go. I think you still have some work to do here. I can't afford to do any more right now. So, all right, we're gonna have to leave it be. I think it was Van Gogh who said, "Leave it ruined in the middle of the work, so you're compelled to come back to finish it sooner." I am not happy with that. I think I can make that faceplate a lower profile, like it's really on, like really close over here. So I think I can make this a little less bulky here, and it'll probably end up looking better. So I think like have something in lower profile so it hugs his face a little bit more closely. Face hugger. But yeah, so we have a little bit of here to do. We have this. So yeah, we got about 2 hours worth of work. I think we can get this done. We may have time to do it tomorrow, but we may be able to do a midnight. We might be able to do a midnight run on Sunday. Worst comes to worst, we'll be back here Monday morning to finish this up. Everything about this piece, I think, is just crackerjack coming along nicely. So just got to spend a little bit of time to get the humanity bits into it, and then we'll be okay. So anyway, I'm gonna see you guys in about 4 hours. I'll catch you then. We'll do some cartography. Have a great day in the meantime. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Here's the cover that we have for the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book so far. I'm pretty happy with it. We'll see what comes about. So I'll see you guys on the other side. We'll be working on Eberron later. Bye.